money because the cure for cancer is in your genes.
Welcome back. We're now going to find out all about the Toastmasters Club here in St. John. My guests are Jim Kokoczki, who is president of the St. John Toastmasters. Also, we have Arnold Geldart, who is vice president. Welcome, gentlemen. Now, we're going to find out, I guess, Jim, we'll start with you. Tell us when Toastmasters began, a bit of the history of the club.
The organization itself started around 1903. The organization is Toastmasters International, and the purpose was to provide learning opportunities for people to develop their oral communication skills. And it started by a man named Dr. Ralph Smedley, and he worked within the YMCAs, and he worked all over the United States. And as he moved across the United States, he started clubs in the different areas. And it's
international, I would say now.
International. It's in 50 countries worldwide now. There are 140,000 members. It's a really big movement.
I think we tend to think of, I was mentioning earlier, I think of men when I think of Toastmasters, like a men's club. Now, it is co-ed today, and you have a lot more women more than ever involved. Either of you on that, which is encouraging.
We have about 30% female membership right now.
Yeah, so that's one up, because just I was talking a few months back with Toastmasters, and I think it was 20-some women, like in your club or whatever, percentage-wise. I forget which, but
we've had a difficult time over the last few years getting ladies interested.
Yeah.
Perhaps it was because
that intimidation or so many
men. It was
men.
Intimidation.
Male-oriented.
Perhaps,
yeah.
Yes.
I think more women in the workplace now, they maybe require the skill to public speak or to, that makes a difference, would you say?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so females are now, it's a growing community in the club, if you'd like. We mentioned confidence. To go to Toastmasters can be an intimidating thought, not to mention actually going, especially as a woman. You see a lot of males, some women. What is intimidating about it, and how can we overcome? You mentioned how that intimidation is really a bit artificial or superficial. Maybe touch on that.
Sure. I think when people come, they look and they see us in the meeting and they say, boy, you guys look really professional, and I'm a little bit intimidated about participating. But you know, everybody goes through the same sort of things when they initially join up and they attend a meeting. They're always intimidated.
Right.
But everybody's there for the same reason. They're there because they want to improve their communication skills. They're there because they're nervous about speaking in public.
Yeah.
So we want to draw those people out and get them involved.
That's right. So how you look is one thing, and what's way inside. Even we may sound very good and be a bit nervous. I've done programs here and I feel nervous, and maybe people didn't pick it up. But so it's what's inside. I think all of us want to level out our thoughts with how it comes out to make the two go together confidently. It's a confidence builder, for sure.
It is, certainly is.
Yeah.
I found that myself over the years. I've been in Toastmasters approximately 4 years, and I found that it has built my confidence. And I've seen that in other people. I've seen it in Jim. He and I joined the club approximately at the same time, and I know that we have made great strides ourselves in confidence, especially getting up in front of a group of people and being able to speak what's on your mind.
Right. And you mentioned you'll often say to people, and don't be frightened when I say this, anybody watching, but you'll say within like a 10-second a topic they're not planned, in other words, and say, no, speak on it. And that's a challenge for anyone.
Yes, we have a section of our meeting that's set aside specifically for what we call impromptu speaking. And we give each member usually 2 minutes to speak on a topic that quite often they don't know in advance what it is they're going to speak on. Sometimes they have 10, 15 minutes to think about what they're going to talk about. Other times they have very little time to think about what they're going to speak about. And that in itself
either way is a challenge.
Is a great,
for sure.
It's a real life skill.
Right. And you mentioned you both have continued in this 4-year period, and that's kind of important. It's ongoing, is it not?
It's not the type of program where you get involved and you finish it, you complete it. It's something you can stay with for your entire life. You can continue to refine those skills.
And you feel it has helped you in the workplace, I would imagine. How could it not?
Sure.
To speak or meetings and...
Anytime you're in a meeting or you've got to make a presentation,
yeah.
there's skills you can acquire, Toastmasters, that you can bring to that environment.
And Jim, you mentioned something interesting. It's a fear that exceeds... What are some common fears?
Oh,
you
yeah.
said it was incredible.
Well, you tend to see surveys, and it says that public speaking is the #1 fear among people, and it tends to be #1
Really?
above things like death, financial ruin, and it's really kind of sad, and there's no need for it.
That's right. Incredible. And I think the reason why maybe it's not known, like that shocked me, again, not communicating fear of speaking, fear of presenting, asking. That's incredible.
Yes, that's right.
Arnold, how do we go about educating, you said, and a bit how the meetings are run here locally?
Well, excuse me, the meeting is structured per the Toastmaster International. We have about 3 sections in the meeting. We have a business section, the impromptu speaking, and prepared speaking. We always have a series of evaluations. We have evaluators on every speaker. We evaluate the general meeting. We also have some evaluation on how we all do generally with our grammar, with our what we call the awe counter, and you've heard Jim and I use a couple here already.
Right. We all do, I think.
The pause filler.
Right.
And many people think that we need to have no dead air time when we're speaking, that we must have a continuous speech flow, and the ahs pop in to fill up the pauses. We have, somebody does that, and we have a timer and those sorts of things. Timing is very important to us. We say we're going to speak 5 minutes. We don't want to run too much over. We'd like to fill up our time. So timing is very important to us. That's part of the training package. The educational process, I'm Vice President in charge of education. I do the scheduling of all the meetings and all the events and try to meet all the needs of all the different members, putting more emphasis perhaps on the more junior members so we get them started, get them feeling comfortable with the club, get them ready to speak and that sort of thing.
Right. Going back a bit on what you said there about dead air or pausing, I had to train myself just in general with people, shut up, be a listener, have dead air, do pause. How do you think that's, they say the pausing can be really important to get someone to respond. How do you think, Jim, about that?
Well,
to take that pause.
When we talk about listening for ahs, I guess our stereotype is the athlete, the hockey player you see on TV where every second word is an ah. And what we try to teach is that a pause is fine. Gather your thoughts, and it's not distracting. It's not distracting if you just leave a little bit of that dead air. And you can look like you do it for effect. Like
right.
You're waiting for a response. You're waiting to make a point, and you're letting it sink in with somebody.
But that ah kind of kills it. That's what you don't want to do.
That's right.
It does.
Pauses in the proper place can be very effective.
Yeah, that is good to hear. I'm learning. We all learn these, I think. Now, Jim, you're developing a toast for St. John. Briefly tell us what that means.
That's right. We were contacted by the Loyalist Day Observance Committee, and they asked us, they put the challenge to us to see if we could come up with an appropriate toast to the city. So what we're doing on April 30th at our meeting, we're having a little competition within our club, and we're going to have some people propose some brief toasts to St. John,
right.
And hopefully we'll present something to the Observance Committee that they'll find appropriate and they can use on May 18th.
Right. Isn't that great? Now, what do you, annual events or things, Toastmasters is just your meeting. Maybe tell us when and where you meet. A bit about...
We have a meeting every Monday night, 6 o'clock at Keddy's. That's where we're currently meeting, usually in Salon A. We have an event, usually at Christmas, a dinner meeting where we invite guests. We have an area speech contest, club speech contest somewhere March, usually.
Right.
An area speech contest, which would be the clubs in our area. It may be hosted by our club. It was this year. Sometimes it's hosted by the Fredericton clubs in April usually, and a closing out banquet. Those are usually our only special events outside of the...
It's interesting, too, with the club speech contest. The winner in our club competes within the area, and he can continue to progress until he reaches the international level, where you've got the 9 best speakers within our organization worldwide. And they're 9 pretty good speakers when you're drawing on 140,000 people.
Confident people. They set the example, would they not? Just as we leave, you encourage all ages, people. Well, it's an adult club, male and female. And you mentioned people have left Toastmasters when they come back. There is a difference, so it's important to keep it ongoing. Just some incentive for someone out there to maybe join as we go.
Yes, we've had a number of members come back after a number of years in Toastmasters and have been dropped out for a year, 2 years, come back and find that they're extremely rusty on being able to do prepared speeches. They've slipped on their grammar. They've let the ahs creep back in. They have...
Unaware, maybe.
Unaware.
Right.
It's generally accepted that that's a normal mode of speaking, and they find that they need a little time to get back at the
Okay.
level that they were when they left
So
us.
do come back. You encourage
Do
them
come
as
back.
well. Okay, thank you both for coming in. It's been very informative.
Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment with the Parkinson's Foundation. My guests will be Mary Crawford and Jack McNamara. Be right back.